Showing your bank balance is one of the most psychologically dangerous things you can do. Your net worth is the most dangerous number you can share. Not because of safety risks, not because of taxes, because of what it instantly does to every relationship you have the moment it becomes known. Money changes people, and there is one specific psychological mechanism, something hidden inside every human brain, that the truly wealthy discovered, most of them through painful experience. I'll name it explicitly near the end of this video. And when I do, everything about how you've been handling money will click into place in a way it never has before. If you've ever felt a friendship quietly change after someone found out what you earn. If you've ever noticed people looking at you differently the moment they knew your number. Stay until the final minute. That shift you felt has a name, and this video is going to give it to you. Wealth Silence Protection. In the next 12 minutes, you'll understand the hidden psychology behind why people who have real money never reveal their bank account. And you'll discover whether you've been protecting yourself or unknowingly making yourself a target. There's a reason the truly wealthy never post screenshots of their bank statements, never casually drop their net worth at dinner, never answer honestly when someone asks, "So how much do you actually make?" And the reason isn't modesty. It isn't insecurity. It is survival intelligence, earned through painful experience. Every wealthy person eventually learns this, most of them the hard way. The moment someone knows your number, they stop seeing you as a person and start seeing you as a position, a category, a financial opportunity they didn't know they had access to. This isn't a cynical interpretation of human nature. This is how our brains actually operate. We are wired to compare, to rank, to calculate advantage. It's evolutionary. When your financial position becomes visible, you don't become more respected. You become a reference point in someone else's internal negotiation, a number they factor into every future interaction with you. As Lao Tzu once wrote, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." The wealthy aren't quiet because they're embarrassed by what they have. They're quiet because they've lived through what happens the moment they weren't. And what happens is almost never what people expect. But what exactly unfolds when someone finds out your number? That answer gets considerably darker the deeper you go. But here's the part nobody warns you about. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The moment another person learns your financial position, something calculates inside their brain, often without them even realizing it. Psychologists call this the entitlement effect. It's more automatic, more universal, and more dangerous than most people understand. When someone discovers a wealth disparity between themselves and you, their brain immediately begins running math. Not consciously, subconsciously. The internal logic sounds like this: they have more than me, therefore they should contribute more, they can afford it. Why wouldn't they? It feels like fairness to them, but it isn't fairness. It is entitlement triggered by nothing more than information. Behavioral economists have documented this across cultures and income levels. The perception of wealth inequality, even between close friends, directly activates entitlement-based thinking. The relationship quietly converts from genuine connection to unspoken transaction, from care to accounting. This is why revealing your number doesn't just affect how people treat you financially. It permanently changes how they emotionally justify everything they ask of you going forward. If this pattern is resonating with something you've already lived through, hit like and subscribe to reprogram more of these money psychology blocks. Because what I'm about to show you next is where most relationships silently fall apart. Now, what I'm about to tell you sounds harsh, but it needs to be said because most people experience this without ever having a name for it. When someone who genuinely cares about you, a friend, a sibling, a partner, finds out the size of your bank account, the relationship doesn't end, it transforms, and the transformation is almost imperceptible at first. They still smile the same, still call you the same, but something in the deep architecture of the relationship has quietly shifted. The dynamic that existed before, where you were two people navigating life as equals, gets replaced by a new, unspoken hierarchy. The question that was, "How can we support each other?" slowly becomes, "What can they do for me?" This is not because they're bad people. This is because money carries psychological weight that distorts perception automatically. Studies in social psychology consistently show that perceived wealth differences activate subtle dominant-submission dynamics, even in the most loving relationships. As Maya Angelou once said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." But here's the uncomfortable truth: they aren't showing you who they really are. You showed them who you are financially, and that information has permanently changed who they're allowed to be around you. The next layer of this, even more unsettling than you might be ready for. Stop and think about this for a second. Because the wealthiest people in the world aren't just guarding a number, they're guarding their reality, the version of their lives where they can still be seen as human beings rather than financial opportunities. Privacy around money isn't paranoia, it's emotional armor, and it works on multiple simultaneous levels. First, it removes the reference point. If no one knows your number, no one can calculate what you owe them. Nothing to envy, nothing to resent, nothing to feel entitled to. The dynamic stays clean. Second, it protects authenticity. When people don't know your financial position, they respond to you, your ideas, your energy, your character. The moment they know your net worth, everything you say gets filtered through that single number. Your words carry a different weight. Your choices carry a different meaning. You are no longer just a person, you're a figure. Third, it preserves power. Knowledge is leverage. Financial knowledge is among the most powerful leverage in human relationships. Every time you voluntarily hand that information over, you hand over control. Privacy is power. Successful people aren't secretive because they have something to hide. They're secretive because they understand something about information that most people don't. And what they understand connects to a force in human psychology even more ancient than money itself. What comes next? That's where it gets truly insane. Here's where it gets truly insane. And I mean that in the most literal, neurological sense possible. Envy is not just an emotion, it is a neurological event. Brain imaging studies from the University of Hessen have shown that when people experience envy, the same neural pathways activate as when they experience physical pain. The anterior cingulate cortex, the region associated with discomfort and suffering, lights up with measurable intensity. Someone else's visible wealth causes the observer genuine, documented neurological distress. Now think about what this means when you voluntarily reveal your bank account to someone in your social circle. You are not sharing information, you are activating pain. And human beings, wired for self-protection, do not respond to pain by wishing the pain causer well. The most dangerous envy always arrives wearing the costume of concern. Are you sure you should be spending that much? Maybe you're showing off without realizing it. I just worry about you, that's all. These phrases are frequently envy in disguise. The person feeling it often has no awareness that it's happening, which is exactly why the protection strategy must come from you, from the decision made before you share anything. And the tragic irony, the more genuinely you care about that relationship, the more dangerous the information becomes. Because there's a calculation happening on the other side that will quietly rewire everything they think about you. Now here's where I want you to forget everything I just said, and imagine this from the inside. You're at dinner with someone you've known for years, and you find out casually in conversation that they earn 3 times what you make. What's the first thing that happens in your brain? Be honest. You calculate, you compare, you feel something. Maybe admiration, maybe discomfort, maybe both at the same time. And then quietly, without deciding to, you start running the math. Should they have paid for dinner? Have they always been like this with money? Do they look at me differently because I have less? Compare, judge, resent. This automatic process is what every person runs the moment wealth is revealed. Social comparison theory, first described by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954, tells us humans have a fundamental cognitive drive to evaluate themselves against others, especially in areas of social status like wealth. It is not a choice, it is a default. Once someone runs that calculation on you, they never stop running it. Every conversation after that moment, every dinner, every favor asked and given, all of it gets processed through that initial calculation you triggered. You didn't just share a number. You permanently altered the algorithm through which they experience you. But there is something about trust specifically that makes this even more complicated. Something most people never actually discuss. Let me pause here because this next part changes the entire picture. We've been taught that trust means openness, that truly close relationships are ones where nothing is hidden, and in many areas of life, emotional vulnerability, personal fears, past mistakes, that's genuinely true. Openness builds real connection, but money is different. Money isn't simply personal information. Money is social currency in the most literal sense. It determines what people feel they can expect from you, what they feel entitled to ask, and how they subconsciously measure your worth as a human being. Sharing it does not build trust, it tests it, and tests it in ways that most relationships were never designed to pass. Here's the real measure of a trustworthy relationship around money. Does the person treat you the same whether they think you have a little or a lot? That sameness, that complete absence of adjustment, is the only true indicator of whether they are in the relationship for you or for what you represent. A friend to all is a friend to none. The people who never probe your finances, who simply exist in the relationship without calculating. Those are the rare ones worth keeping. And the most powerful test you can quietly run is to leave your financial position deliberately ambiguous. What people reveal in the absence of information is far more honest than what they say when they have it. And what the truly wealthy do with this understanding is something most people never consider. If you thought that was disturbing, you're not ready for this. Mystery is not a personality trait. In the context of wealth and social dynamics, mystery is a strategic tool, one of the most powerful available to anyone who truly understands it. And the wealthiest people in the world have operated this way for centuries, often without consciously naming what they were doing. When people don't know your financial position, something fascinating activates in the human brain. Behavioral economist George Lowenstein coined the term information gap to describe the psychological discomfort we feel when we sense there's knowledge we're missing, and the near-compulsive drive to close that gap. In social terms, this means the person who keeps their wealth ambiguous carries an invisible authority. People fill the unknown with their own imagination. And imagination almost always exaggerates in your favor. You become more interesting, more powerful, more worth knowing. This is not manipulation. This is understanding how perception constructs reality. Mystery creates authority. The person who has nothing to hide, but deliberately chooses to say nothing, is operating at a fundamentally different level than those who volunteer everything, hoping openness creates connection. And this leads directly to the most important revelation in this entire video. The specific psychological mechanism I promised you at the very beginning, the one that explains everything. What comes next will change how you see money permanently. Here is the revelation I promised you at the start. The specific psychological mechanism, the one that changes everything. It's called social debt activation. For hundreds of thousands of years, human beings survived in small tribes where resources were shared for collective survival. The person who had more was expected, biologically, tribally, culturally, to give more. Hoarding was a threat to the group. Excess without redistribution was socially punishable. That ancient program is still running in every human brain alive today. Activated, the moment you reveal your financial position, you trigger that tribal software in every person around you. Their brain registers automatically, not consciously but completely. They have more. The social protocol says they owe the group. From that point forward, every request they make of you feels justified to them. Every refusal feels selfish. Every boundary you set feels like a betrayal of an unspoken contract you yourself activated the moment you shared your number. This is the mechanism the wealthy discovered, and guard with their silence. The silence is not about secrecy, it is about preserving your freedom, about being seen as a person rather than a resource. You share your number, you lose your peace. Share number, lose peace. If this shifted something inside you, if you've lived this without ever having the words for it, share this video with as many people as you possibly can. This truth needs to reach far beyond this screen. And comment social debt if this just permanently changed how you see your financial privacy. So now you know the mechanism. The question is, what do you actually do with it? Understanding why the wealthy never show their bank account is only half of this. The second half is reprogramming how you handle this in your own life. And it starts with 3 foundational shifts. 1, stop volunteering financial information in any direction. 2, let your character speak. Never let your numbers speak for you. 3, build wealth where entitlement cannot reach it. The first shift is the most uncomfortable because we've been taught that transparency equals honesty. But financial transparency doesn't build trust. It triggers ancient psychology. Keeping your numbers private isn't dishonest. It is intelligent self-preservation. The second shift is about redirecting perception. You don't need to hide that you're doing well. You need people to experience your energy, your generosity, your character, without handing them a number to anchor all of their assumptions to. The third shift is the most powerful of all. Build your wealth quietly and let your results speak loudly. Because the people genuinely in your corner will celebrate your growth whether or not they ever know your balance. And the ones who need the number to decide how to treat you, they've already told you everything you need to know. As Benjamin Franklin once warned, 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. The fewer people who know your number, the cleaner your relationships stay. And that clarity, that peace, is its own kind of wealth. Here's what this all comes down to. Your bank account is not just a number, it is a psychological trigger. Once revealed, it activates ancient social programming that quietly changes every relationship it touches, often forever. The people who understand this guard that number the way they guard everything that truly matters to them. Quietly, deliberately, and without apology. You were never taught this. You were taught that openness equals honesty, that sharing equals connection. And in most areas of life, that's true. But money doesn't follow the social rules that emotions do. Money follows the rules of power. And power, in human relationships, belongs to those who control what others know about them. Your silence is your strength. If you made it this far and genuinely felt something shift inside you, prove it. Comment silent wealth to show you now understand the mechanism that the wealthy guard with their lives. Because that understanding is the beginning of using it yourself. Protect your number and you protect your peace. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it.